guys, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI. Last time we woke up in the world of ruin. This time, a very small amount of evidence. We're going to make our way to Tzen. However, the way the second half of this game works is it's not entirely based on like a strict procedure of events. You're not stuck into one plot line and you have to go through it from beginning to end. The second half of this game is actually extremely open-ended, and there are only 3 events that you actually have to do in order to progress with the game and finish it. Everything else is optional, including most of what we're going to do today. Now, just because it's optional doesn't mean it's just random side quests with absolutely nothing to them. It's very much kind of focused on, as you might expect, finding our party members. So if you look at the little dots here, let's take a quick look at this one. We actually can't get in here. This is Kefka's tower. This is in place of where Vector used to be. So Vector is completely wiped off here. We're currently on what was once the southern continent, but as you can see from the world map, things are laid out substantially different than they were the first time that we saw the world. Now, you see on the map, they're all indicated. We're the red dot. Below us is Albrook. We're currently on the dot for Kefka's tower. Directly north of us is Tzen. And then there's that little offshoot path that leads into this long Y shape. On the far right there is the town of Moblies, which is also a side area that we don't have to go to yet. The middle way up the left path of that fork is the Fanatic's Tower. We're going to make a pit stop there at some point. And finally, on the far northern tip of that little Y structure there, is the town of Nikea. That is the only place we have to go right now. So if you want to skip everything, you're welcome to do so, but I don't recommend it. So let's head up here and experience some of the new battles around here. Lunaris and Osprey. Back attacks are not fun. Luckily, it puts us in the back row since I put her in the front row so she can deal with some of these enemies. Lunaris has absolutely nothing of interest to mention. I went and I looked on his information. Not susceptible to instant death, no special attacks, no weaknesses, absorption, anything like that. The Osprey is weak to ice, can use Shim Sham to cut our HP in half, and has Petrify. All of the enemies for quite a bit of time are going to be all level 26. So, yeah, weak to ice, we might as well use ice, target both of them. They should both fall down pretty quickly, since I'm in the back row anyway. Well, we didn't quite get the other guy, but the one was weak to ice, so that's fine. We do have the black belt equipped to hopefully counterattack. And we don't do a lot of damage in the back row. Lots of experience. We're not getting any magic points because I've learned everything, I think. Alright, let's see if we can find the new enemy I was talking about in the last episode. Well, I tried 2 battles, didn't get it. That's fine. We are in the town of Tzen. Serpent Trench used to be deep underwater. Now it's above sea level. Interesting. It's an eerie place, too. Apparently, some members of the cult of Kefka have built a tower there. Why would anyone build a tower? The cult of Kefka, the guy who destroyed the world. There's no hope for this civilization. I think the game's over. It's over. We're done. Now, even though everything's in a panic, you can go and buy stuff. That's not what I wanted to do. Hey, Hurry or the house will collapse. Must have irritated Kefka. All this just because someone acted against Kefka's will. There are monsters inside. They keep petrifying everyone who goes to help. You using suitable relics? Hey. We resisted Kefka, so he unleashed his light of judgment on us. Sabin is alive. My child's inside. Do something. Okay, now I had the sprint shoes on, so we could run. But we actually want the black belt on. And while I'm in the menu, I might as well heal up. Good enough. He's alive. Let's go on in. We'll go save the kid. If I move, the whole house will collapse. Save the child that's inside there. He suplexed a train. Now he's holding up an entire house. Is Sabin the most buff guy in the history of video games? I think pretty damn close. Of course, he doesn't compare with someone like, you know, Goku or something like that based on anime, but not a lot of people who can suplex moving trains and hold up houses from collapsing. Can't hold it up together, so get out there on the hum. Woolsey, I don't know where you get some of your expressions from, but I sure as hell haven't heard of any of them before. You gotta hurry. We have a 6-minute timer. Now, it would be suggested that you would want sprint shoes, but having the back attack or the counter attack is actually a better usage. All right, we have some different enemies here. The scorpions use Condemn. They have no weakness, level 26. Hermit crabs we'll find in a moment. Really? That didn't kill them? Okay, yeah, these guys do Condemned. I guess we want to physically attack these guys. I was trying to get rid of them all fast, but that's not going to work, apparently. Yeah, you want to use the counterattacks to limit the amount of time that you're in combat for. Unfortunately, that did not work this time. So yeah, we'll see a hermit crab momentarily who's weak to water and can use Petrify. Alright, let's grab this. There's a pearl rod. Now, the door up top there on the left, that can't be opened from the top. It can only be opened from the bottom. So, even though there's a treasure chest up there, it's not worth going after quite yet. Alright, get one counter in. Damn, I was hoping for one of the counters, and then the battle would have been over. Basically would have saved you a whole round, which is why the black belt is such a great relic for this area, even saving you more time on average than having the sprint shoes would. And you need the ribbon in here. So we need to grab that chest, carrying Canadian garbage. And yeah, so the chest up there, but in order to go through that door up there, here's PM Stalker, the other enemy that's around here. These ones are weak to fire. They're also weak to pearl. They absorb poison. You can MP kill them, but it's not as efficient as doing that. And they're susceptible to instant death. But yeah, that door is locked from the top, so we're just going to do that on the way out. And let's go down here and grab this. Alright, so yeah, there's the hermit crabs there. So we'll just do fire 2 there. So yeah, the hermit crab's weak to water. They can use Petrify, which is the reason why we have the ribbon equipped. Because if we get petrified, it's done. It's over. We lose. I don't know why they had a delayed death like that, but that's fine. Alright, let's grab this. Drainer, nothing on the clock. Scorpions, you just physically attack, because apparently they have monster magic defense. And there's the counter. That saved us a whole round. Hoping that That happens a little more often. The cool thing about those PM stalker enemies is the PM can stand for a number of different things. I don't think there's anything in there, no. PM could be kind of literal, you know, AM, PM, and being a shorthand for Night Stalker, considering they didn't have enough time to put all that information, or they didn't have enough space in the memory to put all that in. Or it could stand for PM being short for post-mortem, as in Death Stalker, and it being a sensor job. I like the aspect of it being able to be pretty much anything. We got a piece of magicite. I am going to heal because I am almost out of HP. Now I'll show this whole sequence. Anytime there's a timer, I'll probably won't cut anything out. So yeah, it doesn't say it, but that door was locked. This is a one-time only dungeon, as you might be able to tell. But yeah, PM Stalker, it's either Night Stalker or it's Death Stalker. Either way, come in here with enough HP and enough MP and you should be fine. You may not even have to heal before you get out of here. But yeah, you don't need the sprint shoes to do it either, so I go with the black belt. The sprint shoes is probably about close to, if not as fast, but anyway, one more guy and then we'll then we'll get out of here. Yeah, the counter rate on the black belt is supposed to be 50%. So there we go. There we got another one. Saved us another full turn, which is probably another, what, 10, 15 seconds? And Sabin jumped out of the way. And the house flashed to something else. Limitations of the animation, I get it, but it just kind of looks weird. But anyway, Sabin is alive. But of course, you think a minor thing like the end of the world was going to do me in? Now, Sabin, you're even more badass than you were before. Even though this theme has always been used in relation to Edgar and Figaro, it's the track is called Edgar and Sabin. Sabin doesn't have his own theme. He shares one with his brother. I thought everyone was gone. I had given up all hope. Fortunately, I was wrong. I now know they're all alive because, of course they are. Why not? We gotta find them. We smash Kefka, deliver peace unto the world. And with that, we have our first optional party member. As I said, Sabin and this entire quest are not required at all. Alright, give him some basic gear. I don't think we need the earth protection right now, so the power sash is better. In this case, it's just not. The white dress might be better because it raises her magic. And sure, why not? A little more magic power, that's fine. Alright, and then we'll give you... Where's that hero ring? Where's my hero ring? There we go. And I will give you those sprint shoes wherever they disappear to. Things always move around in my inventory far too much. To the east, you'll find the Serpent Trench. Further east, you'll find the village of Moblise. The light of judgment really fried that town. Heard the village was burned to the ground by the light of judgment. Thanks for saving the child. Never been more frightened. I don't know what he is supposed to stand for, but in the other translation, he expresses actual fear instead of nonsense. That's good. This guy up here only says, do you have any juicy gossip? If you did not buy Seraphim from him earlier in the game, he will sell it for only 10 GP now. much better getting it earlier in the game. It's just infinitely better. But it costs less now that I guess the economy is toast. Many monsters nowadays attack with zombie and petrify and the like. Have you equipped suitable relics? The interesting thing here is this translation, from what I've read, was actually changed. In the original Japanese script, I think it said something like this. And then when they re-released the game, the Japanese version of the Game Boy Advance version of this game, they changed the dialogue here to represent what the Game Boy Advance English translation actually says here. Heard there's a terrifying monster named Humbaba that has taken up residence in the area around Moblis. So the game goes from telling you, it's like, here's some advice, to here's a rumor, you may want to go check it out. Both are useful pieces of information to get, but it's interesting how they changed it in both the Japanese and the English version. Alright, we have Dragoon Boots, basic stuff, Peace Rings. Wait a minute, I believe I have some shopping to do here. Where's my list? I do. Amulets. Protect us against the zombie status. No, I don't need that many. Now that we're starting to see that status pop up, we want to pick up 3 of these for later. What else do we have? He uses his light of judgment from high atop his tower, which obviously we can't get into, as you saw. Kefka used the light beam to burn the village of Moblis to the east. Presumably it's the lightning strikes we saw him battling Gestalt, with when they were on the floating continent. Most of the adults there perished trying to save their children. Interesting. And sad. Alright, so there's the inn. I didn't mean to rest, but that's fine. We can do that. I actually wanted to buy some stuff. One more thing I want to buy before we move on. It's nice having 2 characters again, so you don't have to make sure everyone has protection, and you can freely equip the sprint shoes. Alright, we have a new item here. The Super Ball. Not to be confused with a certain big game. The Super Ball is a weird item. I'm not really sure why it exists, but it works in the same way the rest of this game does, through RNG. The Super Ball will either deal 256, 512, 768, 1024, 1280, 1536, 1792, or 2048 damage to either 1, 2, 3, or 4 randomly selected targets. So it can do any of those exact numbers to the target, and it hits 4 times. So its maximum output with 100% perfect RNG is a little over 8,000 damage. Now, we've already seen Terra morph and do max damage. So the appeal of spending 10,000 on an item that might do that amount of damage, or it might do 256 4 times, not so great. But it does underline the fact that this game is way too RNG heavy, and it's a pain in the ass in that way. I was on lookout duty for Kefka, but I lost my nerve. Wait, what? I get this strange feeling Kefka was watching, and the whole town started shaking. It scared me out of my mind. Apparently this is just a botched translation. The idea here that he lost his nerves is he was scared. It was just applied in wrong. He was... Basically, I guess they confused the subject and the object of the sentence. So Kefka was the one doing the watching, not him being on lookout for Kefka. I'm not sure, like... The thing is, the way it's written out here, it's like, I'm on lookout duty for Kefka, meaning I'm working for Kefka, or I'm on lookout duty for Kefka, meaning I'm looking for Kefka so we can run. See, it's not very clear. I'm glad they fixed that in the Game Boy Advance translation. Hello. Head north on the Serpent Trench and you'll reach Nikea. Ships still sail from there. Alright, weapon shops. You can buy Kaisers if you need them, we still don't. Poison Knuckles, still don't need those. Oddly enough, the Fire Knuckle is all the way down there. But we can pick up a second one of these. It's on my shopping list because it'll be nice to have access to that for a few situations coming up. So buy that. Yeah, this one randomly casts the base level fire spell, so that can be nice if you're trying to get the most out of it. The armor shop I don't think has anything of value, but we'll take a look anyway. There's the barrette. This is only equipable by realm. This raises the success rate of sketch. It's something I basically never use, but it's there. Alright, so we don't need any of that kind of stuff. I think that's pretty much all we can do in Tzen. Now begins our long trek, and a couple of new enemies here. Alright, we have the Gigantoad there, which is weak to ice. And what was the other one? The Chichinid is weak to bolt. Nothing particularly special. Just don't use poison around here. Everything else is pretty much fine. So we're going to do Ice 2 to get rid of those two. And once that... Okay, well, there's that too. Then we'll just use Sab and doing some single targeting things to finish things off. You have a random sneeze counterattack. If that happens to you while you're by yourself, it basically inflicts the hide status, which means you won't get a game over. As you can probably tell, we just get kicked out of the battle and we don't get experience even though we killed him. Well, that's to that. Alright, it's going to cut that off and give you a pair of earrings. And you're going to remove that while we're traveling. And I'll probably give you another pair of earrings, I guess. Actually, you know what? Instead of the earrings, I'm going to give you a pair of running shoes, so you'll get your turn first. Have you learned any new blitzes in the last little while? You have. Refreshes other party members. I believe this is a self-sacrifice to heal other party members thing. I do have a note about this, but it's later on in my notes, so I'll get into that a little bit later on. Alright, so this area over here that leads up into this area is now what is left of the Serpent Trench. Mesosaur is weak to ice. They also run away a lot. Just normal attack that thing. It's going to die anyway. Yup, it's definitely going to die. They can use Seizure, and they might be able to use Step Mine. It's interesting. A lot of my notes in terms of what the enemies can do is based on what you can do with Rage, Sketch, and Control, an ability we'll get later. And so I'm kind of piecing some of it together because there's not like one ultimate guide that has all the attacks that the enemies do. So I'm putting together some of it with guesswork, and so I may or may not be right on that one. Anyway, you can inflict instant death on those guys if you need to. But yeah, this area on this side is now the Serpent Trench. This is basically gone above ground now. And we've seen a good chunk of the enemies. I'm not sure if we've seen all of them, though. But yeah, it's kind of eerie walking over the Serpent Trench, an area we had to go out of our way to get into before. Ah, there's one of the new enemies, Bloompire. As you might suggest or figure, they're weak to fire, considering the pyre suffix to their name. Bloompire, weak to fire, absorbs water, can inflict zombie. You can MP kill them if you want to. They only have like 12 HP, I think? I think those are the ones that only had like 12 HP. Did that attack just do 14 damage to them or something? Get some smoke bombs. You can also inflict instant death on them if you care to do so. But, yeah. That's a thing. And here are 2 more of the new enemies around here. Again, Fire Dance is pretty much your way to go at the start of pretty much every fight. The Delta Bugs are weak to fire, and they can use Megavolt, so you don't want that at all. The Buffalax is also weak to fire and water. You can inflict instant death on both of them. Even though he's weak to fire, I'm going to go for the Orbolt, which is single targeting damage. And he's gone. Got a Sleeping Bag. Be aware of your levels. Our levels were re-averaged at the end of the world, and so we now have slightly different levels from what we did before. I'm not exactly sure on that. There is a Chocobo stable here. However, there is one new enemy I would like to find first. I think he's only available in the forest. No, that wasn't it, and he can be encountered on the grasslands around here too, so we should be fine. We'll find him eventually. Alright. After that battle, we've arrived at Mobley's. But that's pretty much all the time we have for today. Next time, we explore the dilapidated town of Mobley's. See if there's anything left after the Light of Judgment. That's all for this one. And I'll see you guys next time.